2021. It is 10:04 a.m. My name is Roy Acree. I'm the fire chief here in the city of Smyrna. To my left is Brian Marcos, the deputy fire chief. To his left is Richard Garland, the director of Smyrna Parks and Rec. Also present is our city clerk, Heather Bracon Corn. The first item on the agenda is 2A, which is a public hearing, V21-069, to reduce the side setback from 10 feet to 5 feet at 863 Church Street. This item, 2A, is at the request of the applicant scheduled to be tabled until September the 8th, but this is a public hearing. So before I call for a motion to table, is there anybody that showed up here today that wants to either speak for or against this item 2A? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to table.
Motion to table V21-069, reduce side setback from 10 feet to 5 feet, lot 415 at 863 Church Street. Nathan Corbett, applicant.
Second that motion.
We have a motion to table 2A that's been seconded. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item 2B, variance request V21-087 to allow an additional accessory structure, lot 667, located at 3097 Prestwick Place. Forrest Beal is the applicant. For the background, I'll call Joey Stobbs.
Good morning, Joey Stobbs, Planner 2 with Community Development. Mr. Beal is requesting a variance at 3097 Prestwick Place to allow an additional accessory structure. The subject property already has a 320 square foot storage shed in the backyard. They're looking to add an in-ground swimming pool, about 450 square feet. Community Development believes since this property is buffered from adjacent properties by an existing 6-foot fence, and we feel there should probably have no negative impacts to adjacent properties, we are recommending approval with one condition, that approval of the subject property for the requested variance shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan submitted with the variance application. I'm not aware of any opposition from adjacent properties, so again, we recommend approval.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Is the applicant present? If you could, please step forward to the podium. And if you would, please state your name for the record. Mr. Beal, is the green light on the microphone on below you? Can you see the green light? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Good morning. So you just heard Mr. Stobbs read into record kind of a summation of the project that spawns this variance request. Did you have any additional information to add that he didn't cover? Okay. You also heard him read into record what we call a standard condition. Are you familiar with and in agreement with that condition? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Any questions for the applicant? No. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Beal.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against item 2B, I would ask that you'd step forward at this time. Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V21-087, allow additional accessory structure, lot 667 at 3097 Prestwick Place. Forrest Beal, applicant.
Second that motion.
We have a motion to approve that's been seconded for 2B. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for a vote. That motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is 3C, variance request V21-088 to allow increase in impervious lot coverage from 35 to 60%, 1.87 acres, land lot 447, 2323 Ward Street, Paces Consulting and Design, LLC. Mr. Stobbs, a background, please.
Paces Consulting Group is requesting a variance at 2323 Ward Street to allow an increase in impervious coverage from 35% to 60%. The subject property is occupied by luxury ward apartments. There's an existing 9 units at the property developed in 1977 with the intention to expand codes have changed over time, and now, they are subject to the 35% impervious coverage. They are adding underground detention at the front of the property that will have a net decrease in impervious cover, or a decrease in stormwater by 10% of existing conditions. So there will be no greater impact on the adjacent properties from what is currently there today. Staff recommends approval with one condition, that approval be conditioned on the substantial compliance with the variant, with the site plan submitted with the application, sorry.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? No. So Joey, just for clarification, the increase in impervious surface is going to be offset by their, what you described it as an underground mitigation type thing?
Yes, sir. Any increase will be captured in that underground detention at the front of the property.
Okay, thank you. Is there a representative of Paces Consulting Design present? Good morning. If you would, when you get to the podium, if you could just state your name for the record.
Bo Hickman with Paces Development and Paces Consulting and Design in this case.
Good morning.
Morning.
So just like the first one, I'll have some similar comments. So you just heard Mr. Stobbs read into record kind of a big picture summation of the project. It looks like you guys have had plans and now are have at least designed this increase in the total number of buildings. I had the one question about, the offset of the impervious surface type thing. So is there anything else that you'd like to elaborate on or to add to what Mr. Stobbs has put into record?
No, none if y'all don't have any questions. We've been working with staff to make this work.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Okay. Thank you, sir. This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against item 3C, I would ask that you step forward at this time. Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve V21-088, allow increase in impervious lot coverage from 35% to 60%, 1.87 acres, land lot 447, located at 2323 Ward Street, Paces Consulting and Design LLC applicant.
Second that motion.
We have a motion to approve 3C with a second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is 2D, variance request V21-092 to allow gravel parking surface, lot 347, 2385 Ventura Road, Gonzalo Marquez. As the applicant, Mr. Stobbs, the background, please.
Gonzalo Marquez, the applicant, is requesting a variance at 2385 Ventura Road to allow gravel parking surface. It came to our attention at community development that the subject property had asphalt and gravel placed on the property during a business license review, and we were unable to issue the business license. The applicant is requesting to allow the gravel parking to remain during the construction of the Windy Hill Road project for 3 years. Community development has reviewed it, and other departments. We feel that it's a compromise that we can work with. We recommend approval with 3 conditions. 1, the property owner shall remove the asphalt millings and replace with gravel. 2, a site plan showing the limits of the gravel parking lot done by a certified surveyor shall be submitted for permitting within 60 days of the licensing board decision. 3, the variance for the gravel parking area shall expire December 31st, 2024. At the end of the 3-year period, the applicant shall submit a parking lot plan in accordance with the regulations of Section 901 of the zoning ordinance, which shall include paving, striping, and current ADA regulations.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Is the applicant present? Okay, if you could please step to the podium And for the record, if you could please state your name.
It's Alma Jaimes.
Gotta pull that down.
It's
you go.
Alma Jaimes,
And what is your role?
the property manager.
Property manager? Okay. So you just heard Mr. Stobbs kind of read into record the overall agreement to this point, and also the three conditions that he read into record. Do you have anything additional to add?
No, just that if we can have that variance, parking variance for the 3 years that the project's going to be going on Windy Hill. And
Right. Yeah. And the conditions that he read, essentially, the part of the existing gravel area that has asphalt millings, that's got to be removed and replaced with gravel, and it expires in 3 years.
in 3 years, correct.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And you are in agreeance with that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
I just would be curious, what business is on the property now?
Right now, there's no business because the previous tenant moved out because of the construction.
Okay,
And so it's been sitting vacant.
okay. Thank you.
But the building that exists, that this parking lot serves, it's a former residence, right? It's an older house, is that right? Or is it?
It's a former house, but it's been into a business, so.
For a long time?
For a long time.
So you guys are currently trying to seek a tenant for the place?
Well, we're trying to do that, but we can't because of the construction going on.
Yeah.
And as far as the project going on Windy Hill, it's 3 years, so they're asking us to, do the asphalt. So we asked that for 3 years, let it be how it is right now. Once the Windy Hill project is done, then we can move forward and see what we can build or to make it nice also in accordance with your
Yeah.
project going on.
A little bit of growing pains, but it should be a lot nicer once they get done. But
Yes.
it's a mess out there now.
I know. I've only been here 2 years in Georgia, so I know it's going to look nice, but, that's
Will,
what we're asking.
Yeah. It will. We just have to suffer through the construction.
Yes, so.
Okay. Any additional?
And just to clarify, because I think I heard you say leave the lot as it is now, and one of the conditions that was placed on this is that the asphalt millings be removed and gravel be put in its place. Just want to make sure that we're clear on leaving it as it is now is not one of the conditions of this. One of the conditions of this is that you would have to remove the asphalt millings that are currently on the lot and
Okay.
replace those with gravel.
With gravel, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
This is excuse me. This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak for or against item 2D, I would ask that you step forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve V21-092, allow gravel parking surface lot 347 at 2385 Ventura Road. Gonzalo Marquez, applicant.
Second that motion.
We have a motion to approve 2D. Let's write it, yeah, with a second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. The motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item 2E, which is a public hearing variance request V21-093 to reduce the front setback from 35 to 30 feet for lot 484 located at 1105 Pinehurst Drive. Quintus Colbert as the applicant. Mr. Stobbs, the background, please.
Applicant is requesting a variance at 1105 Pinehurst Drive to reduce the front setback from 35 feet to 30 feet. The existing structure was constructed in 1954. It's sitting right now about 2 feet from the front setback line. The structure has a uncovered front stoop at the front of the home now. They're looking to build a 6x6 covered entry for the house. So due to the existing location of the structure, they require a variance from that for that 36 square feet of the structure. Community Development recommends approval with one condition, that it be conditioned upon the development of the property in substantial compliance with the site plan and elevation submitted with the application.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Is the applicant present? Good morning. If you could please Come forward and state your name for the record. I've got one right here. Thank you.
Quintus Colbert with Colbert Design Solutions.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you just heard Mr. Stobbs read into record kind of a summation of the project. You know, it's an older property. Typically, you know, most of these types of residential properties are existing non-compliant in one way or the other, you know, either right at or even beyond the current adopted setbacks for, you know, all four sides.
Right.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add to what staff put into record?
No, that was pretty clear. When I read the notes, it was spot on what we wanted to do to improve the front street frontage of that house.
Okay. And you also heard him read into record the one condition. Are you familiar with that? And
Somewhat. It seems like it sounded like it was just in compliance with the site plan that we submitted.
it's just the way that community development words it is you have to build it in substantial compliance to the application. You just have to build it. You can't build something, you can't apply for one thing and then build something completely different. You have to build it the way you said you're going to.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're
Okay.
aware of that.
All right, sir. Any questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that would like to speak either for or against item 2E, I'd ask that you step forward at this time. Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve V21-093, reduce front setback from 35 feet to 30 feet. Lot 484, located at 1105 Pinehurst Drive. Quintus Colbert, applicant.
Second that motion.
We have a motion to approve 2E that's been seconded. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. Last item on the agenda is item 3A, the approval of the August 11, 2021 License Variance Board meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second that motion.
We have a motion to approve 3A, the minutes of August 11th. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. And with that, we'll adjourn at 10:21.